just get to sleep. Leave him alone. But the fact that he literally pointed the finger, hey, you sleeping, and making it like a, and these kids are all probably aware what their situation is, and not that person. You know what I mean? She was with Nate. I was like, oh shit, I'm in trouble, aren't I? For whatever damn reason I did this time. Having a face. I was like, I'm ready to quit. I'm already done at this point. Not dealing with this shit. You're gonna have that person.
Damn.
I've been there for 5 years. I'm put at my time.
All right then. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to, or watching the newest episode of the Convoluted Podcast. I'm a little bit groggy because I forgot it was recording on today, then tomorrow. That's my fault. My schedule's thrown off because I'm getting prepped for covering for someone and getting ready for camping.
Camping.
But yeah, but I'm a little bit tired. Even though I did wake up early in the morning. I did wake up like at 4 a.m. So, but like I said, I didn't think we were doing something today because I do have a doctor's appointment later after we're done recording. But that's just my problem. But how's your week, Liz? Sounds like you had an eventful time. But how's everything else? How's everything else?
Week notice. Everything's good. Everything's okay. I am off today. It looks like there's some shenanigans happening at work, so I'm avoiding that shenanigans. And tonight's the Foo Fighters. Woo woo. Got my Foo Fighters shirt on.
There you go. You see everything's getting prepped. Some fun stuff. So,
yes, and then 4 days of work, and then on to camping for 5 days. 5 days. 5 days.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna do our best to give you still guys an episode while we're away. We'll figure that out a little bit sometime after everything, probably tomorrow something. It'll probably be a shorter episode, but we'll figure it out, right? We always do.
Yep, we always do.
We'll probably put out a regular episode, not a bonus episode. I hope you guys have been enjoying our bonus episodes. But yeah, I think for next week we'll just do a regular episode. Today we'll still do our regular and bonus. But next week I think we'll just do a regular, just cause, just to guys give you something while we're away, you know. But the bonus part is we are going to be recording bonus episodes while we're together out there. So there's fun stuff to come. But next week we'll try to do our best to record a regular episode for you. To have it ready while we're away. Anything else you want to catch up or anything before we jump in? Because I have a question for you.
No. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but let's get to it.
Okay,
so much going on.
My question to you, Liz, is what's the longest you've ever gone without sleeping? We've recently been talking because of the whole Jake Weddle stuff and how sleep deprivation is, but overall, how long have you like gone without sleep? You know,
almost 24 hours.
That's it.
I won't ever repeat that again. That's it.
Yeah,
I love my sleep too much. What about you?
I think when I was younger, I remember I went almost 3 days without sleeping.
Ooh. You must have been delusional by that time.
Probably, yeah, at that point. But, you know, it's one of the things where you're just, like, active as a child, and then you're just doing stuff, playing games, just in that mindset. But recently, there was a YouTuber or streamer, just a streamer, who got banned off multiple platforms because he was trying to attempt to break the, going without sleep record, basically.
Ugh. How long was that?
So the record, what's the record? Give me a second. The world record for that based on Guinness World Record, longest Okay, let's see here. Was 201 hours, which is roughly 8 days and 9 hours.
Damn.
Yeah. And like we said, because of what we've looked into a little bit with the whole stuff with the Mr. Beast that's been brought up, it is by the Geneva Convention a war crime to provide sleep deprivation to like individuals, but to do it to yourself, is that really something different? And now this specific record is no longer actually being recorded because of all the new studies that have come out. What are the harms? But someone decided to live stream themselves not being to sleep for so many hours. So a YouTuber has had their live stream taken down amid the attempt to break a world record for no sleep. Thanks to the live streaming technology, some interesting moments have been shared on camera in real time, like the moment the streamer almost lost his eye in a freak wood chopping accident. Ooh, I didn't know that. I wasn't watching this stream.
Me neither.
I only heard about this. While some incidents are complete surprise, YouTuber Norm, knew exactly what they wanted to do as they attempted to live stream themselves, breaking the world record for consecutive days without sleep. Named Norm was over 250 hours into his no sleep attempt with the when the platform removed his stream. The record has been attempted to break was by Randy Gardner, who stayed awake for, this is the record, 264 hours back in 1964. The record has already been beaten before, and Guinness World Record no longer recognizes it, and it's deemed to be too dangerous to try. They didn't stop Norm from hop from platform to platform. Continue to ban from each one of them trying to stream the challenge. I get banned from YouTube literally 12 hours from goal. IS gonna cry right now. Damn acronyms. I was never really great with them.
Hey, I don't, it's sad that, as you get older, we don't participate as much, and I should know it, but my kid doesn't use it, so it's not that generation anymore.
I was gonna say I was going to say Insta, but it's not Instagram. Anyway, after being banned from YouTube, Norm moved to the streaming service known as Kick to try to finish his attempt, but was pretty quickly banned from that platform too. He eventually finished his attempt on the platform Rumble, allegedly reached the aim of his slaying up for 264 hours and 24 minutes. Post his Twitter seemed to suggest someone called the ambulance on as people in the paramedics in uniform appeared to come to his door. Literally got swatted. I don't care. I don't care. I'm still gonna get the world record. 2 hours and 6 minutes left. After claiming to break the world record, Norma is now filming the world's longest sleep stream. Sleep stream live now. TD donation. Anyway, so the idea, I understand why they were trying to stop the stream. There are people who do. There are people who do marathon streams, they're pretty popular. Where people I'm not gonna end my stream until I beat a video game, and it's probably a pretty hard one, and you'll probably be up for 18 hours. This is a lot, but you're trying to do something. But this one is definitely a lot more dangerous to one's health. Staying awake for X amount of time for it just, or doing something for X amount of time has always been the eye catcher, right? It's oh, what's happening there, right? Doing something for X amount of time or X amount of attempts, it'll always catch people's attention. So, what are your thoughts when people try to do things of this nature and kind of what his situation was, like what he was trying to do.
No, it's not healthy in general, as we all know. Sleep deprivation is not good for the human psyche whatsoever. Um, it, by day 3, you almost start hallucinating. It's just so sleep deprived, and you eventually start hearing voices and stuff like that. So at that point, I don't know where he was on his psyche, but that is kind of messed up. I don't think it's appropriate. There's so many things that could be going wrong after you start. Yeah, starts learning speech, after so many hours of sleep deprivation. I'm surprised he was able to even speak words if he was still live streaming. So
There was definitely a couple times where when he was streaming, because his friends were around there to help him stay awake, and he was trying to, if I'm remembering correctly, count down from 100 by 7, and he got to somewhere in the mid numbers, and he stopped and just couldn't remember what he was doing at that time. Like, definitely, like, if everyone
brain short circuits for sure.
Because how the idea, how wonderful would it be if we could actually utilize the time we use to sleep, right? The 6 to 8 hours, like, people sometimes feel that that's our time lost, right? Like, imagine if you had that much more time to do stuff. What would you do?
I there's always something to do, but like whether it be reading or getting laundry done or something of that nature. I don't know, but I'm not a 24-hour person. Like I cherish my sleep.
No,
I still cherish it.
say if there wasn't like a negative connotation to it, you had the ability, like they had a pill or something, like you'd have to sleep. There's no negative effects. Would you take that to utilize more time?
Well, because everybody else is sleeping, so it would not benefit me being awake when everybody else is sleeping. So, like, I would not get around to doing anything. I would probably be like, "Where's everybody? I'm awake. I can't go to sleep because I took the pill."
Well, other people would be taking the pill too. It's like, it would become, the thing is, it would become like a norm thing. There would be like two classification people: the sleepers, and then the people who are awake.
Yeah, I don't know. I cherish my sleep. I enjoy my sleep. It's good for the body.
Oh no, yeah, but like I said,
Things.
the question I'm asking is more. But it sounds like you wouldn't at all. Try to
No,
utilize.
I wouldn't take that pill at all. No, I don't think so. I couldn't do it. It's not. I get what I need to get done during the day some days, and some days I'm exhausted from working and juggling and you know. So we were down bodies yesterday, and I still managed to get everything done, and it wiped me out clean by the end of the night. I was out. So, but my excitement woke me up this morning, so that's a different story.
So yeah, I personally would, not every day, but there would be days that, like, I wish I didn't have to sleep. I could get a few more things done. I would be the inter where, like, I want to get done. I want to get a couple more things done today. That would be me. Where is this?
Yeah. Considering your life is on the opposite side of the clock, so
That's true. That is also the idea of, like, what a person could, like, what a person's like current lifestyle is, definitely.
my life is busy all the way from the time I wake up to the point I go to bed. So, um, I get enough done. Sometimes I don't get enough done, but that's okay. That's always tomorrow. So,
But what do you think? What do you think of this situation, though? The idea where you do it to yourself, like someone chooses. Should we stop these things, certain things?
yeah, we should. We should stop these things because they're not safe. Mentally and physically and emotionally, it's going to be detrimental to the life. And you're literally shortening your life by doing that kind of stuff. So we don't want to shorten people's lifespans. It's already short as it is. Make it last a little longer, guys.
Well, we as human society recently, we've been getting older. Our lifespan has been increasing, so might be time to do.
Not in the States. Not in the States. Just saying.
Well, no,
Our
yeah,
lifespan is a little lower than everybody else's out there in the world.
no. Well,
Just saying.
the American like food is not that great. Like you can literally feed people garbage.
Lifestyle, what we eat, what's in our water, etc., 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 and
Ooh,
our jobs. So.
Oh, that's actually that's probably a good hint to the bonus episode topic that I have for us.
Okay.
But yeah, any other final thoughts as far as this?
Nope. I don't think it's good.
Well, fortunately, he was able to go to bed after all this and did it, but you know, it's not recorded anywhere. It's just recorded online. I think even then, his stuff is all deleted. So there's really only clips and stuff. So the question is, did he succeed? Yeah, he did. Did people care? Some people did. Will it affect him in the long run? Yeah, sadly. That's the thing. He's gonna be suffering the, what's the word?
Consequences.
There you go. Thank you. The consequences to this stunt. Yeah. All right. What's the next thing you want to talk about?
There's a few things out there. I don't know. We have a couple follow-ups on a lot of things, so
Pick one.
yeah, we could do that random one. Owner behind secret Chinese-run lab found in California, charged with federal crimes by the DOJ. You remember that?
Bring me up to speed.
That little lab. Remember that lab that was in California, just in some warehouse, and there was blood and stool and pee samples all over the place. No, don't you remember that one?
Yeah, I'm trying to explain. You got to explain it to the listeners. I remember.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. Basically, this guy, or we don't know. There's just this guy was looking and found in this homemade shifted lab in a warehouse. Randomly, it looked like abandoned, and there was all sorts of random little things rolling around, animals and rodents and all sorts of samples of human bodily functions and so on and so forth, and blood and yeah, that's not good, right? Like happening in our backyard and we didn't even know it. So, a federal grand jury handed down new charges on Thursday for the man accused of being behind the Reedley lab that regulators said was illegally distributing misbranded COVID-19 test kits as the owners lied to investors. Jay Bezu, 62, previously faced 63 counts of lying to regulators and distributing misbranded medical devices, but the grand jury on Thursday returned a new 12-count superseding indictment. The new charges filed in the Eastern District of California in Fresno County included conspiracy and wire fraud related to the lab discovered in late 2022. The U.S. Department of Justice said it's a new release. Zhu is a citizen of China who lived close time in the lab's discovery, according to the prosecutors. His romantic and business partner, 38-year-old Zhao Wang, who also is named in the indictment. Their attorney did not immediately respond to a request for a comment. The two were linked to a limited partnership based in Oakland and that owns the property in the question at 850 I Street in downtown Raleigh that was secretly used by the Universal Meditech Incorporation and Prestige Biotech Incorporation. The company stored dozens of refrigerators filled with vials of blood, viruses, and other infectious agents, containers of laboratory chemicals, and hundreds of laboratory mice, and an array of other stored laboratory equipment. I think we kind of get the idea. Yeah, no?
What?
You want me to go further?
But no, just kind of do it layman.
Basically, that lab we found, blood, rats, and samples of all sorts of shenanigans were caught in our backyard. We had no knowledge of it. It was only brought to light as you brought it up on the article. What was this? Almost a couple years ago now, or was it a year ago, a year and a half ago when we bought in. So it's been a minute, but I thought it was interesting that it was finally brought more information onto what happened with this whole establishment. I thought we could catch up on it. So
That's good. That's the other thing is like, just finally doing a follow up so someone is actually taking at least some heat from it, because you never know. It could have just been left swept under the rug and just gotten away with it. It is a positive. It is a positive for such a facility to be in a small little city, to be running for so long until someone like took a peek, right?
Yep, definitely. I'm glad they caught it, and they are taking their place in charges. So
Okay.
oh.
All right, let's get into another story. Let's talk about how some adults can treat children.
No, there's quite a few on here. I got a couple on here
All
too.
right.
Besides yourself.
I'll start with one.
Okay.
So this one's just a simple. We all took field trips when we were growing up and going to school, right? What's one of the?
I don't think the kids do that anymore.
Really, they don't do field trips anymore?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything really.
Your
lately,
kid doesn't go on
so.
field trips? What? They don't do field trips anymore? That's sad, actually, because I remember growing up, I used to go on a lot of field trips. I can understand it's dangerous. Sadly, it's gotten a lot more dangerous these days, sadly. That's very surprising hearing that too. But at least that's kind of sad, actually. That's a whole story in itself. Then what's your most fondest, like, at least for yourself, field trip that you remember?
God, what field trip do I remember the most? Oh my God, there were so many of them. We went to the Jewish Museum downtown in LA. We've done, we did overnight trips in Catalina and SeaWorld and like a small place not far from Big Bear. There were a lot of good ones out there. I remember just having a lot of fun growing up as kids, especially when you were like kindergarten, first grade. You went to like a farm, have fun. So
True. There's a lot of zoo trips. There's a lot of zoo trips. A lot of museum trips. But for me, I would say some of the more memorable ones were the theatrical ones, where we used to go to see plays, operas, and ballets, which back as a kid you're like, why are we here? Or I'm like, it's cool, but you take it for granted for what it was, like going to a museum to see some works of arts. Like, it's like, oh, you're looking at pretty pictures and stuff like that, but you're not really gathering, because at the end of the day, yeah, you are looking at something really interesting, but then getting the scope of like what the work did for some, like, the individuals, or even plays, operas, and ballets, like the effort that the people performing do that to appreciate that and the story. But you're just watching something like a movie, but with a lot more effort as far as they're doing it day to day. But those are some of my fond memories. But sadly, one person got some traumatic memories from their field trip.
Emotional damage.
So a Detroit judge scolds a student during their courtroom field trip, places her in handcuffs and jailed uniform. What are your thoughts just hearing that?
That is absolutely nuts, right? Like, oops, I fell asleep. My bad. There's a reason why the kid fell asleep. Maybe they're epileptic. I don't know.
So a Detroit nonprofit hosted a field trip at the 36th District Court so students could learn about the legal system, when a sleeping teenager during the visit ended up in a jailed uniform, handcuffed and in front of the judge, Kenneth King, because of her attitude inside his courtroom. On Tuesday, children, part of the 3-week program with the nonprofit of the Greening of Detroit were taken to the 36th district for a field trip, and other field trips in the program included kayaking and watching birds. However, this is the opportunity for students to watch a real trial play out and speak to the judge. So, just starting with that. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Kind of getting that's like a real sense of the world. Mostly at that age, they were 16. So, seeing that, what are your thoughts on that? Those aren't bad field trips.
No, those are great field trips. You kind of get kids more of an understanding how the legal system works, especially when you do that kind of stuff, and then like fun, kind of, you have a balance, right? So you have a little bit of fun, you have a little bit of learning, you get a little bit of everything going on. But that's great. I mean,
the idea is good because so it sounds like it was like an unquote an after school program that was hosting these field trips and stuff like that. And I think now hearing you say that a lot of schools don't do field trips that much anymore, it sounds like it's more on like other groups to do them. But yeah, it sounds like it would be interesting. Like, would I have gone? Yeah, I would have. But let's see what happened. What made this really bad? Before the defense and prosecution even entered the court, King addressed the student and answered their question. He then noticed a 16-year-old girl dozing off. "You fell asleep in my courtroom. You quote, "You fall asleep in my courtroom one more time, I'm going to put you in the back." Understood, the judge addressed the girl in the courtroom. Judge then said that the teenager gave him attitude for falling asleep. Well, they're kids, Like, that's a little. It wasn't so much, in fact, that she had fallen asleep, because I had the attorneys that fell asleep sometimes. So that's not a big deal. This is him in an interview. It was her whole attitude and her whole disposition that disturbed me, King told 7 News Detroit. I wanted to get through to her and show her serious this is and how you are to conduct yourself inside a courtroom. The judge can be heard saying that to the girl must change into a jail uniform and sit in the lockup. Okay.
Jesus, that's scarring.
Yeah, that
I'm
is.
never going on a field trip again. I'm going to be arrested.
And then, quote, "That's not something that's normally happens, but I felt compelled to do it because I didn't like the child's attitude. I haven't been disrespected like that in a very long time." Interesting. The judge then threatened the 15-year-old girl or 16-year-old girl with the jail time at the juvenile detention facility. Whew.
Jesus, that escalated quickly.
That's way bigger than, like, I get the shock treatment for that moment, but then that I think that's pushing it one bit too far.
That is pushing it. Yep.
The thing about the juvenile detention facility is a lot of people are there not just for bad kids. You have a lot of mentally ill kids there. The last time I was there, I had a kid who was actually sticking a spoon up their rectum and spreading feces on the wall. Ugh. That is nasty.
Bruh.
Mm-hmm.
The judge then had other students vote if she could be sent to the detention facility. He ended up letting her go. Damn.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Well, the idea is not bad. It's like being judged by your peers. So that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, but that was pushing it a little bit.
I guess
really not necessary for a 15, 16-year-old to be
true. But the idea,
accidentally falling asleep.
So the first part, like, okay, you're kind of like doing a little shock treatment. That's okay. That's not too. It's not great, but it's not like horrible. The threatening to put them in the oh my god, what can I say? In juvie, that's a little much. Even if he wasn't gonna do it, just saying it, that's a little much. And the second part where he had the other students, that's just adding fuel to the fire. But the idea is not. I get what he was trying to do, where he was trying to, like, yeah, you're getting voted by your peers to see what's happened. Was I really going to do that? Probably not. Probably not. I thought he was not. Ooh, actually. Probably not. Could I have? Probably so. Oh, but that's not how I want to do. I want to do to a kid who's there on a field trip. What does that mean? If they were on a field trip, he would have put him in jail or juvie?
Jesus, I know, right? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. What I feel like today. I'm a judge. I can do anything I want.
Do I?
Fuck, fucking people.
Do I think I was? What did I think I was heavy-handed in what I did? No, I don't. Because I'll do whatever it is needed to be done to reach these kids and make sure they don't end up in front of me. Oof, definitely they do not want to get arrested and end up for him as their judge.
Yeah, no kidding.
So his methods on teaching the youth are now raising questions with the legal community. Larry Dubin, is that Dubin? That's something like that. A former,
Dubin.
yeah,
I think it's Dubin.
A former attorney with a background in legal ethics and now law professor at University of Detroit, Mercy, made his concerns heard. Quote, just totally inappropriate. There were so many other ways in which to have helped the young girl learn. I have never seen anything quite like that, like what I saw took place in the courtroom. Veronica Valentine's McNelly, director of trial advocacy in Michigan State University College of Law. Holy shit, that's a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
Judge played an important role in teaching youth how to behave inside and outside the courtroom. Quote, it can be beneficial for students to learn proper courtroom etiquette and to understand the importance of courtroom proceedings, which helps them appreciate the seriousness of the environment while gaining valuable insight. The Greening of Detroit says that they have been in contact with the child and her parents. In the statement's nonprofit chairperson Marissa Wood. I'll just say Marissa Wood. This is the quote from them. Anything else in there that I need? No, it's the same thing. King stands by.
I'm trying to find a follow up because there was another follow up to that story.
You can say it. What did you hear? Because I think I know what you're saying.
She said that basically she's been shuffling from house to house and not really having a stable living environment for her to sleep. So that's why she fell asleep.
So to reiterate a little bit more, so apparently the mother put out a statement that I believe said she was a single mother trying to raise her kid and they haven't had a stable home. Which is, yeah, definitely that adds, like, no one knows what your home what situation is, right? Yeah, that's a lot. There's a lot to a thing where quote to say judge an individual, right? For the circumstances of what happened. Surprising to say, but definitely what this was a little bit more outbound. Because what would you have done if this happened to your kid?
I'd be upset. I'd be talking to the judge. Be like, "What's wrong with you?" The kid had a moment of tiredness. They were sleepy. Yes, it has happened. It does happen. But you don't know the situation behind why the kid was falling asleep. My kid in general, too. I mean, they stay up late. You can't control that sometimes. Or, they had a hard time sleeping last night. You can't control that either. We all have nightmares. We all have days where we toss and turn. We can't sleep. I know that I've been there multiple times in the last 6 months. And honestly, yeah, there's a point where we have to kind of be like, kind of sympathetic to kid situations. We don't know what the situation is. We don't know if they're houseless or if they have stable sleeping arrangements or if they're sleeping in a car. I mean, how comfortable is that? Do you think that's comfortable? I don't think so. So that kid should never have been in that predicament. And the judge should have realized, hey, maybe there's something going on behind this reason why this kid's asleep. Leave him alone. But the fact that he literally pointed the finger, hey, you sleeping, and making it like it. And these kids are all probably aware what their situation is, and not that person. You know what I mean?
This judge would love the streamer. You're like, that guy would not fall asleep.
Yeah, probably. Be like, that kid can stay awake. We're good.
So there's another follow up. So the judge was trying to reached out to the family and wanted wanted to offer mentorship for her. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. What are your thoughts there?
No, run, run. Oh boy, run, run.
Why?
Just run away.
Why do you say that?
Because I don't think I mean, kids are really scared now of this guy. This guy can throw me in jail any time. At this point, you already threatened once. What does it make the difference time? Oh, you're gonna experience it now since I got you as my mentorship. I feel like this is a great for you to understand why I don't want you in jail.
Yeah, there's a level of like loss of respect. The chance to be mentored it's something big. Finding someone who's willing to take you on to show you the ropes in certain fields is pretty interesting. I think if this never would have happened, that would have been a really like nice offering, right? But why take a sour offering, right?
Yeah. Now he feels guilty. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But they're like, well, if I offer a mentorship, that'd be a great deal. Maybe you'll get everybody off my back. Jerk. You're still a jerk for pointing it out, making them feel bad about what they did. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Ah, some people.
Yeah, some people. Let's continue talking about horrible people. Mostly, where is it? It should be under the sleeping kids story list. Can you get that one?
The county mom.
Yes.
That one.
Yes. I'll let you read that one. Did you hear this story at all?
No, but I read a post another one that I posted. I don't think it came out I think it's like one of my first 5 stories I posted today.
Okay, go ahead and just read the title.
Tarrant County mom gets 60 years in prison for poisoning her 4-year-old with Benadryl.
Damn, 60 years. 60 years.
60 years. Benadryl has not been FDA approved anymore. They're not allowing it. They don't believe it works for what it's meant to do.
Wait, so does that mean that Benadryl is going to be removed from the shelves in the near future?
It should be. Yep.
Oh, it should be, but it's not.
Removed. Not yet. It hasn't been implemented yet.
But all right. Time to get as much Benadryl off the shelves as possible. Then just buy my supply.
Especially for the people that are addicted to Benadryl.
Okay, so what happened? And then there's a story I want to talk to you about after this. Continue concerning about that. But why is this? Why do you go to jail for 60 years for this when there's so much other happens?
Fort Worth, Texas, a Tyrant County mother was sentenced to 60 years in prison for poisoning her child. Jessica Jones gave her daughter adult Benadryl in order to make the girl shake. Then she then took the girl to the hospital claiming she was suffering seizures. Oh my God, we were just talking about that one. The lead detective believes she was abusing several of her children, but this 60-year-old sentence comes to after she pleaded guilty to crimes against one of them. The 32-year-old received her 60-year sentence on Friday. In 2022, Jones was arrested charged with poisoning a 4-year-old with adult-strength Benadryl to fake a seizure disorder. This came after she took the daughters to Cook Children's Medical Center saying her toddler was having seizures. Tarrant County Sheriff Office Department Detective Michael Weber says Jones admitted to giving at least 4 to 6 adult-strength Benadryl in order to have her child shake in the present signs of seizure disorder. In this case, I had a confession, she said. We have evidence of the child's blood, and we have evidence in the mom's purse. Weber says there's evidence and testimony that Jones previously presented at least one of the other children as having epilepsy when that child did not. Weber calls this medical child abuse, and this says his office had charged more than a dozen cases. They either exaggerate falsify, or induce medical symptoms in their child in order to fulfill an intrinsic need in themselves, he said. When Jones was out on bond last October, she violated by bond by having contact with the child and was arrested in this April. Then in July, Jones violated her bond again by having contact with the child of a man she was trying to date. That child testifies that Jones became interested in medication she was prescribed after a surgery and befriended her. No bond revocation hearing was sought. This is a failure in the criminal justice system, specifically a failure by the Tyrant County DA's office. Weber said, "It is a frustration of mine that the office continues to view these offenders as not a threat to public or at large or additional children." A spokeswoman for the Tarrant County DA's office did not respond for Fox 4's multiple requests for a comment. The DA posted a quote from the child's father to X that scars of your betrayal run deep.
Damn. So not only did she go after her own kids, she went after other people's kids. Damn.
She's got a problem. She's got an addiction problem of some sort.
I forget what that term's called, where
Munchausen syndrome.
I thought they renamed that.
I know that Eminem had that same issue with his mom. I thought it was Munchausen.
Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Mental illness in a form of child. Yeah. Anyway, it's sad. It's very disappointing, but I'm glad we're getting a huge because a lot of the stories we've read, Liz, in the last couple months, a lot of these things that go against kids have only been like a couple months to a few years, and we finally get one where it actually seems appropriate. Or do you think differently on that? Do you think 60 years is too much or not enough, or just right?
I think about right, because there's not obvious. Well, it may be a little excessive, but at the same time, maybe this person, I don't know. Part of me wants to say that this person belongs somewhere in a psych ward too.
Yes, but 60 years is fine.
If they were completely in a psych ward, yes. If completely in a psych ward, because I think they're mentally disturbed. So, not a jail system, because it's not going to help with the situation. I think it's just going to make it worse, or they're going to hit something else is going to happen to them.
Well, at least they'll be away from children. That's the positive part.
That's true.
No, I'm for the 60 years. Yeah, because at least she'll be out of society. This is where the thing is, where a lot of these criminals should be just be put away, or away from any involvement with kids.
Yep.
Because it's because one, the thing was definitely it started with her children. And I did see a follow up that her husband didn't know. She thought her estranged husband thought that their kid was actually sick, so, and luckily got full custody of them. But it's one of the things where you're putting your trust in your partner, to then that, and then on to then continue on with other trying getting other partners and then messing with their children. I think that's where the line for the 60 years is fine for me, because she was going after other kids. On top of that, she continued her offense. That's why I'm fine with the 60 years. Unless you have something against that, in my opinion on that.
No, I get your point. Yes, away from children is the I think the biggest thing that we need to address, and a little excessive, but I think yes, away from children in general, from the public society, and then not sure what I want to. Sorry, I'm thinking about things. Yeah, but I think mental health was probably a huge thing that needs to be addressed here in this situation. So.
Okay. So for our
I have
final,
another story that is from Texas. We have a final story. Go ahead.
so this is kind of the final story I want to get to because it's more on your side of stuff and or adjacent to you. Potentially positive for the American people because apparently Medicare finally negotiated drug prices for the first time, and here's what we got. Have you heard anything about this?
Yes, it's been kind of circulating, but it hasn't taken a lot of predominance in our conversation. But
Initial
there's
thoughts.
a problem to this.
Okay, so
There's a problem. There's still a problem.
Okay,
There's still a problem with drug prices, but also on top of it, pharmacies are getting screwed.
okay, so
Either way, pharmacies are getting screwed.
So currently, before we read the article, is there a positive or negative light in your circles? At the moment, we'll start and then we'll read it, and then you can follow up with what you know.
It's a mix. It's a mix right now.
But more positive or more negative?
For us.
What is it?
More negative. More negative.
In your circles.
For us.
Yeah.
In my
in your circle. That's what I'm saying. In your circles, more negative. Okay. So let's see what's happening here. So the White House the White House unveiled the fruits of months of negotiations between the government and the pharmaceutical companies. New lower Medicare prices for 10 blockbuster drugs. The discounted range from $79 for diabetes drugs. Oh my God, what is that? Januvia to 38% for blood cancer drugs. Oh my God. Imbuvika. That sounds funny. Sounds like a exotic veggie. Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Baraka played up a savings Wednesday evening. In the press call ahead of the announcement, Baraka said if the negotiations prices were to affect in 2023, Medicare would have saved $6 billion. Ooh, that's a good chunk of money. And beneficiaries would have saved $1.5 billion in out-of-pocket costs, such as copays at the pharmacy counter. Quote, I had the privilege to work closely with our HHS team and oversee the negotiations, end quote, which took nearly a year. Baraka said, quote, negotiations were comprehensive, they were intense, it took both sides to reach a good deal, end quote. Let's see here. The program selected the first 10 medicines to negotiate last year based on several conditions laid out in the Inflation Reduction Act, which ended Medicare's 20-year ban on negotiating drug prices. The drugs including blockbuster blood thinners like, oh God, I'll let you read those.
Eliquis and Xarelto.
As well as drugs for arthritis, cancer, diabetes, and heart failure. The negotiated price will go into effect January 2026. So before we go after this, in a second. So definitely, we've talked about it.
Yes, I do. I'm all about, having saving the limited income of people on Social Security because it's ridiculous. You have these life-saving drugs and it costs you $650 out of your pocket because you're in the donut hole. That sucks.
Okay.
I absolutely get the idea of that.
Yeah, definitely the American public have been suffering because the quote, having enough money, literally I talked to a lot of people like having enough money for my diabetes medicine at work is sad to hear. So this is very positive. In a lot of things. It's so. Anything else to add to that before we get to the next section? Nope. Okay.
I get it. No, I think it's great for the American public.
Okay. After all these years, why negotiate now? That is a really good question because people have been suffering for a long time. Medicare Part D covers outpatient drugs for about 5 million seniors. The federal 50 million. Thank you. Federal programs was able to negotiate these prices for the first time in the program's history as a result of the Inflation Reduction Act. Negotiations began February and progressed to summer, coming to a close on August 1st. Let's see here. NPR asked Administration for the Centers of Medicine and Medical Services. Oh my God, this is such a long.
Medicare and Medicaid services.
Yeah.
Chiquita Brooks, sure.
Yes. If there was ever a moment when she thought that negotiations would fall apart, and until it's signed and on the dotted line, you'll always have chances that things won't work out. But I believe it strongly that the arc of righteousness was on our side. While individual plans have previously been able to negotiate to drive prices down, this is the first time that Medicare was able to use its leverage and negotiate for the program as a whole. Senator Amy, so many people. I'll just say Senator Amy,
Sure.
Democrat from Minnesota, says that she fought for years to get Congress to pass a law lifting the ban of Medicare drug price negotiation. She joined advocates on Wednesday to discuss the significance of an upcoming negotiation price announcement, calling on various tactics and pharmaceutical companies to have used to hang onto their monopoly power and keep prices high for over the years. It is fine to make profits, but not to the extent that you're actually hurting Americans' health in the United States of America. No one should be forced to choose between filling their prescriptions or filling their grocery carts. I agree with that statement right there. It's all with 10 drugs alone cost. Oh wait, in all, these 10 drugs alone cost Medicare $50.5 billion in 2022, or about 20% of the program's gross total drug spending that year, according to HHS. They also cost benefactors $3.4 billion in outpatient. Out of pocket. Ooh, that is a lot of money. And it's just these specific 10 drugs they're talking about. They mentioned a couple of them, right? There was like 3 or 4 that they mentioned briefly. But yeah, I agree. Like I mentioned earlier, like people shouldn't be worried about like, should I fill my belly or should I fill my prescriptions? And there's a lot to it. Let's see, is there what other things? The politics. Looking ahead, Medicare negotiation. There's only 2 more sections. Anything to add or talk about during that section?
No, I absolutely agree on some of it. Like, how do you benefit? You pay for your drugs or you pay for food? You get to that point. I understand completely.
Okay, the politics of prescription drugs. Okay. President Biden and Vice President Harris are expecting to trumpet the announcement at the event on Thursday in Maryland, where they will each give remarks about the lowering health care costs for Americans. It is the first formal joint speaking appearance for Biden and Harris since he stepped aside from his bid for the second term endorsed. Okay, I don't care about that part. She's campaigning. The high cost of
living.
Yeah, the high cost of living is a key issue for voters. Yeah, definitely. It is the time. It is time for the election. So definitely that is a thing to be talking about. The polls have been shown that Biden has struggled to get credit for his efforts to lower the prices, and many voters continue to trust GOP presidential nominee Donald Trump more on the economy, but the polls also show the voters are less critical of Harris on the economic issues. Harris is expected to give more details about her economic politics in the campaign speech in North Carolina on Friday. Okay, that really was a nothing burger. But that was a nothing. It's a nothing burger.
I understand where it comes from in the political sense, because it is such a political stride right now, because we are in the political season. But I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. And it's not really pertinent information at this point.
Yeah, at this point, it's more used as a tool or a weapon in these political battles. Let's go with that. So that's kind of the best way I can put that. Let's go. Okay, let's see here. Looking ahead to Medicare's drug price negotiations. Do you want to read that?
It is expected Medicare drug price negotiations will save the government $98.5 billion over a decade, according to the Congressional Budget Office, which scored the Inflation Reduction Act. The pharmaceutical industry has pushed back against the negotiations, filing several lawsuits to keep the negotiated prices from going into effect, and saying the move will be bad for drug innovation. However, the CBO estimates that the Inflation Reduction Act will prevent 13 new drugs from coming to market over the next 30 years out of the 1,300 of them that are expected to come to market over that time. Wow, only 13 new drugs compared to the 1,300. That's still like 10% of it? Over the past few weeks, several drug companies involved in the round of negotiations told their investors they will be able to manage the losses from lower Medicare prices. Medicare will begin negotiation prices for the new batch of medicines early next year. The process will continue annually with the government negotiating prices for up to 20 drugs by the end of the decade.
Okay. So there's still gonna be other drugs down the line. There's still gonna be money to be made. I think at the end of the day, it's just trying to get these 10 drugs to get, I consider your everyday drugs at this point for some people to be easier. Now, you have some passionate words to say.
Yeah, when are they going to reimburse pharmacies for all our efforts for actually filling subscriptions? We are getting screwed left and right. Do you think that any of these Medicare companies paying us back for our due diligence?
Wait, do hospitals get paid through that?
Just like any normal pharmacy.
Oh, okay.
The retail side. I'm talking about the retail side. I mean, honestly, we're sitting screwed either way on that.
Yeah, because that's my question. That's my question to you is like, is it on these businesses to be compensating the pharmacies, or is it?
It is. I'm part of it.
How
It
so?
is. We are getting screwed. We don't get paid for any of these medications that we dispense. And if we do, it's mere cents to the dollar. Mere cents. Not like, and most times we lose money every time we dispense a drug to a patient that is leaving our hospital for this medication. So we're always losing. We're always on the negative. There's never a positive. And if we're on the positive side, it's a very low end compared to what was pulled out.
That's interesting for the prices of medicine being so high. I wonder why then.
The only time we ever get some sort of like retribution is when we run those coupons for those 30-day trials. It's a small fraction. It's literally a small fraction.
So basically, the incentive to push these new drugs out.
So you got $1,000 drug. We might get maybe about 40%, not even 40% of it. $1,000 drug, we'll get maybe maybe $30 to $40 back if we run that coupon. Woo! I was just saying, it's ridiculous what we can get back for what these medications are worth. So the fact that, and then we lose money left and right from all these running these insurance policies on it. And we have to do it because, that's what they pay for the insurance to do. This kind of have covered some of these medication costs. A lot of people, which is weird, a lot of people will go life without paying a Part D in drugs. And it's just funny. And I'm like, how do you pay for these medications? They are expensive. Look at this. We can tell you that right now. They're going after Xarelto and Eliquis. Those are expensive drugs, and Brubica, oh my god, yes, absolutely crazy expensive. Looking at another couple $1,000s right there. I mean, we don't get any retribution whatsoever for any of these drugs.
My question is,
so we can do all our due diligence to tell you, oh, there's an interaction with this medication, with the medication you're taking right now. We need to call the doctor. We need to figure out those things. Those are happening all the time with us, and that's why pharmacists are in place to figure out those interactions and if they are going to cause life or death harm to the patient.
That was going to be my question to you. Like, should you get some benefit? But you do. You have some level of thing. It's like, what's the best way to put it? Like, there's a word. Why can't I think of it? Why can't I think of the word?
I don't know.
When people sell cars, what is that? What do they get when they sell cars?
Sales. They
You know what I'm talking about? God, I literally
incentive, essentially.
No,
like an incentive almost.
No, when people make sales on something, you get more money out of it. So you sell something. Why can't I think of the word? Say
I can't think of it.
Say if you're selling a drug, you get a bonus out of it. My God, commission. A commission.
You don't get a lot of commissions for a lot of this stuff. So
No, yeah, but what do you think of
Get
that
that.
idea? If they became commission based,
if we could get like some sort of commission to make pharmacies actually thrive, hence why there's no mom and pop shops anymore. Pharmacies.
that's true. If you're saying, yeah, because the way you're saying it, like if a big hospital is running red in the pharmacy section, like there's no way an everyday pharmacy could keep up to date, right? Definitely that's a
So
whole.
like we're gonna be eventually diminished if nobody's taking part in what the pharmacy does for people. So
Yeah, that's a whole different story. You might want to look deeper into it so you can explain it more to everyone listening. Because it seems like there's a whole level of other politics that are happening in there besides the pharmaceutical companies. Because it sounds like it's also a politics with the hospitals and the deals they have, and then the unions. Yeah, there's a bunch of things with that. So you have a lot of people to fight to try to get something. So it's not just this, but at least for this, the everyday person can benefit, which is I think for me, in my opinion, a positive for the people.
I'm not disagreeing on the people who have limited incomes to be paying for $600 for a medication that they need is life saving. Where the hell they have that $600 going around?
No, almost no one
Get
does.
what? Maybe $1,300? Huh? $1,500 a month for your things, but then you have to pay for all your insurances. So your Part D, your Medicare, whatever insurance Medicaid, or whatever Medicare insurance plan policy, you pay for that. Then you still have a mortgage or an HOA or rent to pay on things. How do you pay for anything
You don't, Liz.
with $1,300?
You live
exactly.
You live a month with limited diabetes medicine until you get enough money. That's how you do it. And that's a story I've talked with someone about. But hopefully this works. It works. I hope it goes through. Because the public needs it, and I hope it does go through. Any final thoughts on this story or any of the stories we've gone through?
No. That's some crazy stuff. We went from sleep deprived to drugs real quick.
True. All right, everyone. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. There's some positive stuff that are happening, some craziness, and there's some people doing some crazy things too. But yeah, let us know down in the comments what your thoughts on any of the stories we just talked about. Let us know your opinions on some of those. But yeah, thanks again for listening or watching. Until next time. See ya.
Bye. Obese is the N word for the plus size people.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's a medical term, damn it. You a doctor, learn that. She's a doctor, and this is what she's saying. The medical terminology. What the fuck are they supposed to fight in your church then? You're medically unstable?
Anything on board after 93.